Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because it's not a personal reading. And some people harness high vibe Capricorn energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Capricorn energy, and some people harness a downright shadowy Capricorn energy. So we all tap into Capricorn energy. So whether you're a Capricorn sun sign or you're cross-watching, it doesn't really matter. Listen to your intuition about how you harness your Capricorn energy. You know, high vibe Capricorn energy is people who put work and effort to free themselves from their more shadowy nature, their more worldly nature. Immature, selfish, greedy, self-centered, materialistic, immature, indulgent. You know, you've given up some of your more immature ways of being to grow and mature yourself. And there's other people in the world that haven't done that. So listen to your intuition about where you are in the story and where you are in relation to maybe other people. Because, you know, there's other people that are always like more bold and brave and confident and more free to live their life authentically than we are. You know, and our goal is in high vibe energy to be free, to live our authentic life, to live our life authentically. We have this life to live. Are we going to live a life of illusion? And that's what shadowy energy is about. Not willing to speak our truth, take action in our truth, to really pursue the things in life that really motivate and inspire us from a place of love. The things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but they're meant to be enjoyed from a place of love, not in place of love. And some people have gotten it twisted. And they think, oh, I'm not going to do love. I get hurt doing that. I'm going to make my life all about these other things. I'm sure they'll make me happy. So let's see what we got going on. We have the Leo card in reverse. Some of you could have cut a Leo out of your life. You could have cut someone else out of your life who is kind of more aligned with their egoic nature, making their life about themselves, or they were manipulative or controlling or self-centered or materialistic or whatever. And if that had been you, you've cut that out of your life, you know. Otherwise, it's just that, you know, I'm going to get out of my ego. And the reason this came out is because of the Sagittarius Temperance card, which is, you know, I'm going to balance out my strong emotions. You know, the overarching reason for the reading is the Knight of Wands. There was things that we were motivated and inspired by in our Sagittarius energy. There could have been people we were attracted to. There could have been jobs and ways of viewing life that, you know, we wanted to go take action towards. But with the Leo Strength card being in reverse, we can have all the hopes and dreams that we want, but if the other people that we're trying to work with don't have good self-discipline, because Leo Strength card in the high vibe means I have tempered my more beastly nature. And we could have been in friendships or relationships or workplaces with people that hadn't tempered their more worldly nature, immature nature, bossy, controlling, manipulative, prideful, self-centered nature. And we had to get out of our ego about it in order to move on. The Knight of Wands, Sagittarius energy is about, you know, life's an adventure to be lived. And I'm not going to stay in workplaces and relationships with people who aren't willing to go on that adventure with me. If they have fear and insecurity, they haven't healed, you know, I wish them peace. But I'm ready to move forward in life, facing my fears, facing my insecurities. And the Temperance card, they're both Sagittarius cards. And Sagittarius energy is about, in high vibe, it's about, I'm going to wrap my brain around this game of life. Because high vibe Sagittarius is about higher education and learning. I'm going to take inspired action to get out of my ego, that the things I wanted to have happen, that I wish would have happened, didn't. You know, and everybody's got free will, and You know, it's kind of like the divine has a master plan, and we can keep staying in our ego saying, but no, God, no, no, this is what I want. It's like, yeah, but they got free will, and they're not on the same page as you. They might have some growing and maturing to do, or they're just more motivated and inspired by themselves, or indulgence, or fear, or greed, or, you know, the list goes on. And the truth sets us free to continue on our adventure, get out of our ego, and accept that people have free will. We all learn lessons at different stages in life. We all come into insight and clarity. You know, we've got to deal with our past pain and heartbreak and our own self-limiting beliefs. And some people have lessons learned. Some people lack insight. Some people don't want to see the truth. They could be prideful and manipulative or egotistical or immature, and they don't want to see the truth that they should grow up. You know, so we get out of our ego about it, and we look to the divine. We take that bold, brave, confident action and fiery energy to balance out our emotions about it. And then we have the Emperor, the Ace of Swords, and the High Priestess. And the reason that came out is because of the Magician. The Emperor's about, you know, I've learned a lot of lessons in life. And it's trying to make really good decisions in your life because you've probably, you know, lived your life in a way where you chased after people, you put up with poor behavior in jobs and relationships and friendships in the past. You let your heart run your life. You let your mind run your life. You let your passionate nature, your worldly nature, you know, your want for stability and security, or kind of like staying in a job that might pay really well, but it's not supportive and encouraging. It's not, you know, the Leo card is also represented by the sun, life-giving energy. Who wants to be in an environment that isn't like being in the energy of the sun, like life-giving energy? You know, you could have been in relationships with people or workplaces where it was like being under a dark cloud all the time, or they're under a dark cloud all the time. And if they never take creative, inspired action to get out of their own dark cloud energy, so kind of like their shadow energy, to listen to their intuition and believe in themselves and have some hope and faith and belief. You know, we can't make other people have hope and faith and belief in themselves if they're, say, a pessimistic person and woe is me and nothing ever turns out for me. We will prove ourselves correct. If some people have an idea that, oh, I don't trust people, I think everybody will be immature and a player, and I think everybody's hiding that they're trying to manipulate me. Well, how differently does someone act in a relationship if that's how they view other people? Some people have lost hope. You know, they just don't trust other people. Well, they're going to act differently in a relationship than people who do have hope. And we can't make other people choose to have hope and faith and belief in themselves, have hope and faith and belief in love. We can't make people be more to make better decisions in their life, because that's what a high vibe emperor would be, male or female. We can't make people see the truth if they want to keep turning their back on the truth. We can't make people listen to their intuition and have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. To kind of, you know, it's kind of like your higher self nature that, you know, what if I were to think about my life, things aren't working out the way I want, you know, we're in a job or relationship, things aren't going the way I want. Are we willing, kind of in the high priestess energy, it's kind of like, if I were to imagine looking back at myself in this situation, imagine me being 40 or 50 years older than I am right now. What would I tell myself, we'd probably tell ourselves to get out of our ego, to make good decisions in our life, to see the truth, that we deserve to live our authentic life, to be in friendships and workplaces and friendships and with people who are loving and warm and supportive and encouraging, people who harness high vibe Leo energy. Aries, the Emperor is Aries energy, which is also fire energy, just like the the Knight of Wands and the Temperance card. You know, we want what we want. And there's some people are afraid of listening to their intuition because they listened to their intuition before and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. They could have had hope and faith, thinking, oh my gosh, this is my truth. I'm going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to get in a long-term relationship with this person. And then someone, you know, the Knight can be where they take more impulsive, maybe reckless action. And the difference is, you know, in tarot, we have the pages, we have the knights, we have the kings, we have the queens, then we have the emperor and the empress, and then we have the Hierophant and the high priestess. It's like this hierarchy of having learned lessons in life. In high vibe, it would say that if we have listened to our intuition before, and those relationships that we had hoped were going to work out the way we wanted, or those jobs or friendships, and they didn't, you know, it can really be sad. You know, that's kind of like the Strength card in reverse. It's sad. Why aren't they willing to move forward with me at this point in time in my life? Or why didn't they move forward with me in the past? And if we try to look at it from a more higher perspective, again, the truth, we can't move to like the next level of life unless we're willing to deal with the truth. And sometimes, just like us in our life at times, if you were to look back at your life, you were kind of immature. You know, you weren't making the best decisions in your life. There could have been other people in your life, friends, family, people who would have liked to have been in a relationship with you, but you had growing up to do. And maybe, you know, I think the hardest lesson to learn is to love yourself. And that would be like the 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups in high vibe Sagittarius energy. I have wrapped my brain around this game of life. It is about me being self-aware that if I act immature and give into my more prideful, egotistical, bossy, controlling, that is kind of Aries energy of the Emperor. Isn't it all about me? And we really haven't seen the truth yet. That we're kind of being manipulated by our worldly nature, our more immature nature, our more egoic nature, our more impulsive, selfish, greedy nature. And we'll keep going through situations thinking, this is the way to live life. Isn't it about me and the things that I want? Isn't this going to make me happy? And then they don't turn out the way we want. And eventually we learn a lot of life lessons. And eventually we see the truth, because there probably was a lot of times during that time period that we turned our back on the truth. Because the whole thing is, the High Priestess can also talk about our intuition. There was probably a lot of times back then, living our life, that our intuition was telling us, I don't think we should do this. I don't think this is a good idea. I think we've done something like this before and it didn't work out well. I think we should do this instead of that. But, you know, it's kind of like our intuition was given to us as a gift. Just like bats have sonar and birds and butterflies know to fly to a warmer climate when the cold breeze is coming in. This isn't going to be a happy experience. But we want what we want. And so, just like we could have been like that, going through our life at different stages of our life from the time we were like 15 and on to now. Some of you have had more life experience than some other people in your life, because some of those people could be your own children, adult children. Some of them could be your siblings, And then we have people who stay kind of immature all their life. But the whole thing is, you might have had more life experience than some other people in the world, and they don't realize it's probably not going to turn out the way they think. And you have. And when you could have gotten in a workplace or a relationship with some people who seemed to be kind of manipulative or unloving or unjust or unfair and not supportive and not encouraging, is like, yeah, I've been there and done that. Yeah, no. I'm going to listen to my intuition and not ignore my intuition, because I've done that enough times in my life and that didn't work out. I would have liked this to have worked out, but my intuition is telling me not to be manipulated by my ego, because if we are manipulated by our ego, we have lessons to learn. It's not going to turn out the way we think. So some of you already did, and some people right now are making a decision to listen to their intuition. And if there's been some people in their life who they think are manipulating them, they are going to... The Kings in Tarot can talk about taking action. The Wands is about communication. The Ace of Swords is about communication. I think some people right now, just like some of you have done, maybe in your past, is speaking their truth to a foundation. The Ten of Pentacles could be a family group, a friend group, a work group, or just to your own foundation of self. I need to listen to my intuition. My intuition is telling me that if this isn't being motivated and inspired in the Three of Cups of Cancer energy, of love and home and family and working together cooperatively and being inspired to work together cooperatively, to gain insight and wisdom. The Ten of Pentacles is Virgo energy, where people go within to gain insight and wisdom about why they're not. High vibe energy of the Ace of Swords would be, it's about truth. It's about justice. It's about fairness. It's about love. It's about acting with character and integrity. It's about making decisions that are best for everyone involved, not just the decision that's best for you. Because shadowy Aries can be people who are more about themselves. Doesn't matter if they're an Aries sun sign or not. They could live in this illusion of the magician, kind of manipulated by their own ego, their own fear, their own whatever it is that makes them want to turn their back on the truth. I don't want to listen to my intuition. I don't want to work together with people from love. I can get hurt doing that. I want to be the boss, and I want it to be all about me. I am unwilling to be illuminated to the truth, because high vibe Leo energy, represented by the sun, also is being illuminated to the truth, and they're unwilling to temper their fears or their insecurities or their bossy controlling nature or their more immature indulgent nature. I want what I want. And some of them don't want to be in relationships or work with other people who do, work together with people in a just and fair and balanced way. They don't like that. And they don't want to be in romantic relationships with people who are like that. Because in order to keep staying in a relationship with them, they harness shadowy Sagittarius and fire energy, and shadowy Aries and shadowy Gemini and shadowy Leo, they hide the fact that in the workplace or friendship or romantic relationship, that they like to use their emotions manipulatively to get what they want. And they're kind of immature and they have some growing up to do. So when we see the truth of it, those people could have left our life. We could have decided to move away from them. And it can be sad because, if they are your adult children or siblings or parents or friends or romantic interest, you wish they weren't manipulated by their more immature, indulgent nature, by their fear, by their insecurity. But we all have free will. And if they choose, I'm not doing love, I'm not going to be just and fair, it has to be my way or the highway. You have to let me be more bossy and controlling in relationships. You have to basically stay in a relationship, and whatever it is I'm imprisoned by within my own mind and my view of relationships or the world, and then all the other people in my life that I might hang out with who have a certain way of living life that could kind of encourage me to be in my fear or my insecurity or my immature, indulgent, prideful, or materialistic or whatever way of life, I'm also maybe not willing to leave those people. I'm willing to let you go because you live your life differently than I do. And if I were to move forward with you, I would have to see the truth. And I would have to start to believe that I could manifest my dreams into reality. I'd have to believe in myself first, and then I'd have to believe in love, and then I'd have to believe that I do believe in long-term, emotionally stable, loving workplaces and relationships, and believe that everybody's not out to get me and everybody's not out to sabotage me. And, it's kind of this thing that's kind of strange, right? Where some people are so afraid, at least I find it strange because that's just not how I relate to the world. But I'm so afraid that if I emotionally invest in people, maybe it is really a pride and ego thing. What if it doesn't work out? I mean, I think life is about living, to get in a relationship and not really invest in it, to not get in a workplace or be an employee or be a supervisor or be a boss, but you don't really invest yourself in giving it all that you have, to know that you gave it all that you have. I think if you give it all that you have, you can be proud of yourself if it doesn't work out. You at least know that you did everything you could. And when you were in it, you grew and matured yourself. And you can take those traits and skills and ways of being and the lessons that you've learned and how to temper your own fears, your own insecurities, your own pride and ego, to humble yourself and be someone who speaks the truth and tries to be insightful. I think you can take your ways of being to the next relationship. But the people who are so afraid, well, what if it doesn't work out? Well, then I kind of, that would be really prideful, right? Well, I was so afraid that I didn't want to act like I was willing to work together with them or treat them, I don't know. And, it's hard to explain if you haven't been there, I guess, but it's kind of weird to me that, well, what if they don't kind of treat me the same way? Well, how about we just see the truth? Everybody has free will. There can be people who get in their pride, their ego, are unloving, unjust, unfair, unkind. How about we just see the truth? It doesn't have anything to do with us. That is the critical thing. There, I got to it. Sometimes we can get in our ego and think that, well, if I were to work with people, oh my gosh, I should be able to control and manipulate everything, and they should do, and everything should work out fine. Well, guess what? You're not God, and everybody else has free will, and they have their own issues inside of them. They have their own fears, their own insecurities, their own lack of self-worth, their own kind of prideful, egotistical, selfish, bossy, controlling nature, and eventually that might come out. You didn't put that within them. You did not create that within them. It was there, and you maybe didn't know it because they didn't want you to see the truth. They weren't maybe dealing with it. They maybe weren't willing to reveal it. Oh, by the way, I can be kind of immature. Oh, by the way, I can be kind of bossy and controlling, And sometimes, it's just to listen to your intuition when you deal with people. Oh, I see that they're being manipulated by their fear or their insecurity or their envy or jealousy or lust or greed or whatever. And I'm going to see the truth of it. And I might decide, that I'm going to speak my truth about how I want to manifest things, which is, the Magician card is like Gemini, Virgo energy, and this is Virgo energy. This isn't aligned with my truth. If you don't want to be just and fair, if you want to be bossy and controlling, if it's at a job, I'm going to go look for another job. If this is how you're going to be in a friendship, I wish it would work out. I was hoping we'd be friends forever. But all I can do is speak my truth and listen to my intuition. And if I feel that other people aren't being nurturing and supportive and got some issues going on, it's like to wish them peace, but I'm not going to be manipulated by shadowy energy. And if other people are operating in shadowy energy, I make the decision to listen to my intuition and I speak my truth and I go work with the people in the world who choose to operate from love. Those are the people I'm going to go communicate and go invest my time and energy with. Until these people decide to maybe get out of thinking it should be more about them or being indulged or thinking that it's just and fair to be able to hide the truth, that they kind of like to manipulate people to get what they want. You're either being open and honest and authentic and truthful and just and fair in a relationship, or you want to try to get people to be that way in a relationship with you without you being that way. Well, what the hell? Oh, I don't think I have to be just and fair. It's kind of like, I want you to give up your own life-giving energy, your hopes and dreams of being in loving and nurturing relationships, and just balance out your emotions about the fact that you're in a relationship with me. And then we're supposed to move forward with this illusion and hiding from the truth, because Virgo energy is about going within to see the truth. No. You stay in a relationship with me because you don't like love and believe in yourself, and you haven't tempered your own fears and insecurities. You haven't balanced out your own emotions. Perfect. Let's date. You want to get married? Wonderful. You're my kind of person. And as long as you don't see the truth of who I am, and you haven't realized that it's more about me and my wants and my needs and my lust and my greed and my pride and my ego, and I've sufficiently created this illusion that I'm willing to make good decisions in this relationship or at this workplace for all of us. But it's really just an illusion. It's really all about me. The truth is, I hide that I'm manipulative. And I want to be in a relationship with people who might be very stable and grounded or loving and warm and inspired and attracted to me. But it's all about me. Because I operate from pride and ego, And I'm defensive to love. And I'm defensive to listening to my intuition and love to guide my life and go with the flow to really bring a dream into reality, because I'm defensive to that. That would require me to be willing to grow and mature myself, and I'm not willing to do that. Maybe since I was a child, whether these people are male or female, for some reason, some people think, in their more immature view of life, that it's all about them. And they have this dream of like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so great. I'm going to get in a relationship and I never have to temper my pride or my ego. There's going to be people who are going to be attracted to being in a relationship with me because either I'm good looking or I have money or I have status and image and clout, or I'm just full of myself and people want to be in a relationship and I'm going to get in a relationship with someone like that. And then, I'm going to use my things, my charm, my charisma, my looks, my sexuality to be in a relationship with them. And some of those people try to find people in the world who might be sad because something they had been working, like a relationship, didn't work out. The new beginning didn't happen. And they think, oh, I can go indulge myself in a relationship with that person. I know I'm manipulating them. I know I don't want to listen to my intuition. I know I don't want to be bold and brave and confident in love. I want to be in a relationship with someone I can emotionally manipulate. And I may be willing to be in a long-term relationship or foundation with them so long as I can be an immature kind of player in it, where I indulge myself in it. And I will do that as long as they don't see the truth. Well, some of you were in relationships with people like that. And I think when you were in the relationship, you were inspired to balance out your own emotions, maybe, because you could have kind of been in a dark place where you didn't know your worth and value, and you hadn't learned to love yourself. Because again, I think that's the hardest lesson to learn in life, is to really be really stable and grounded within yourself, because you have offered yourself love and compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes you've made in life, and how you've had to learn these difficult lessons, and people can throw you to the curb and shove you under the bus, and you've got to learn to be a survivor and pick yourself up. We don't control anyone else, but we should control the environment within our own head, and we shouldn't be joining into the crowd, letting ourselves be manipulated by our mind and our fear and our insecurity. I choose love. I don't control anyone else. In my own head, yeah. Every day I am being like my own best mother, father, coach voice in my own head. I have free will. I choose love. And sometimes we have to go through these difficult relationships to get us to see the truth. That we've been manipulated, and there's people in the world who look for people who can't, we can be naive and gullible. You can be a very loving, giving, warm, nurturing, supportive person, and some people are like, you haven't really seen the truth of how deceptive and manipulative and selfish and self-centered people can be, have you? Perfect, you're my kind of person. Let's date, let's get married. And then you realize that some people don't plan to manifest a foundation and a relationship, a workplace, a marriage from a foundation of love. They could get hurt doing that. It's all, as long as it works for them, it's good for their ego, their image, their status, they'll keep staying in the relationship. As long as you don't see the truth that they're not really working together with you from a place of love. And as you move forward in the relationship and you're trying to manifest a loving, stable, grounded, insightful relationship into reality, that's when you start to see the truth. Because you've done this work within yourself not to operate from your ego. You've grown up. You're not acting immature and prideful and manipulative and self-centered and whatever. You're trying to make good decisions, to grow and mature yourself. The High Priestess and the Emperor, very high vibe. You know, I'm motivated to really bring my dream into reality. And that's when the truth can become revealed. That's why you can be in a relationship with people for years or decades and you don't see the truth. And then it's revealed. Oh, so long as you don't have to put in work and effort from being motivated and inspired by love, you're willing to stay in the relationship. And it might have the stability and the security and the image and the status and all that. And you want me to stay in it, kind of indulging you, not really working together with me authentically from a place of love. And you think I should stay in it because of the status and the image and all that. Kind of being manipulated by my worldly, kind of egoic nature. And it's like, no. And some of you told people no. And you've been detached from that foundation. And they went to go find someone else who is maybe sad that something hadn't happened in their life. Find someone else who wasn't illuminated to the truth that this person, male or female, likes to manipulate people to get what they want. They don't plan on putting in work and effort. They don't plan on gaining insight about why they do what they do. They don't want to see that they maybe are emotionally manipulative, that they're kind of immature, that they're maybe kind of bossy and controlling, and that they're maybe secretive and not very warm or loving or giving or supportive, because it's just all about them indulging in it as long as it's good for their ego and their image and their status. I'm sure you've all known some males and some females who are like that in the world. I know I have. And, you know, it's a hard lesson, but, you know, sometimes you might have some people right now who would like to come towards you in a relationship because maybe with this energy here of the Virgo and the Three of Cups and the Knight of Wands, you could be taking time to yourself, not going out there and being center stage in the world and, you know, not doing a lot of things for people to really know what you're doing. And there's some people that think, could I manipulate them? Do they know the truth? Can I hide the truth from them? That I want to be in a relationship with them to indulge, but then I'm going to leave. Can I get them in a relationship to get them to indulge me? Some of those could be some of the very people that you walked away from before are wondering, you know, because maybe they let go of a loving, warm beginning with you because they decided, I want to go manipulate a third party and go indulge in a relationship with those people. And then when that doesn't work out, or after I'm done indulging, then I'm going to come back. But they could have thought in their ego, I'll get out of that relationship and then I'll just sit here in my ego. And then they see you, the person they left behind, and they're like, okay, like, I'm here. I got out of that relationship. I came back. Don't you want to have a new beginning with me? And you're not offering them a new beginning. And they're like, did they figure out the truth? You know, and for some of them in their kind of shadowy egotistical Capricorn energy, they could think if they went and did that and then came back, they just thought for sure they had manipulated you and maybe made you sad and all that stuff, that if they were to get out of that relationship and sit here in their ego, not taking action towards you, because they don't want to have to maybe speak their truth, because they want to manipulate the truth. Well, what those people don't know is that when they left to go do whatever they did, you decided to listen to your intuition because you did feel manipulated and you did go within to gain insight and wisdom about this whole situation. Were they loving? Were they warm? Were they truthful? Were they honest? Did they make good decisions in this relationship? And you've seen the truth that they didn't. That's not loving. That's not just. That's not fair. And what they don't know about you, they're like looking at a past version of you, but this is you, and they just don't know it. Again, they're kind of, when people are in shadowy energy of their like pride and ego and self-centeredness or whatever, they're not seeing things clearly. And with the Magician card, all they see is that you seem to be very maintaining your balance, maybe not acting out in the world in ego. So they don't know what you're doing. And what they don't know is that you're getting ready to go on a new adventure because you have done all this work to love and heal yourself, to know your worth and value, to be independent of them. And if that's to go get a new job, ready to go get in a new friendship, ready to go get in a new relationship, you're about ready to do that. And so the people who thought they were the boss, kind of in shadowy energy, trying to manipulate people, I bet if I go do this because you wanted this dream to come in, that you'll be in the storm and then I can come back whenever I want. What they don't know is that they're the ones who got caught up in illusion. When you don't take action in truth and love and justice and fairness, other people listen to their intuition and they see that you aren't who they thought you were. And those people take action to love themselves because they deserve to be in relationships with people who truly are bold and brave and confident, who have gotten out of their ego and have been enlightened to the truth, that it's about having good boundaries in your life to your own shadow nature so that you can be in relationships based on love. And those are the people you're going to go invest your time, energy, and effort into, and who you're going to go communicate with. The people who've been enlightened to the truth that when you have a loving relationship, you stand up and you defend it. And you keep moving forward in the energy of love, letting love and your intuition guide you, being willing to go with the flow of life, to be willing to grow and mature yourself and get out of your fears and your insecurities and your pride and ego in order to have your dreams come into reality. And some of these other people, again, could just be immature. Some of them are very self-centered and egotistical. Some of them, even though some of those people would maybe like to be back in a relationship with some of the loving people that they knew in their life, they're so manipulated by the world and money or indulgence that they're willing to indulge other people in a relationship, even if those people are bossy and controlling and prideful and defensive to being loving. Because they're all caught up in the illusion, thinking if I keep moving forward with these people who have those things of the world, my dream will come into reality. Or if I'm in a relationship with someone who's indulging me and my ego, that's living the dream, right? And I think it just won't turn out the way they thought. For one, they're going to keep staying immature. They might think they're the boss, but they're going to see who really are the true leaders in the world, and it's not going to be them because they haven't grown up and matured themselves, and they're immature. And the other people are really going to be victorious and successful in work and in their friendships and in their relationships because they're authentic and warm and loving and nurturing and make good decisions in those workplaces and relationships. And these people are kind of prideful and egotistical and only make decisions that are best for themselves. So, let's ask, what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe? Oh, and just like some of the shadowy people in the world are looking at some of you, could have fond memories of you if they knew you in the past, even if they didn't get in a relationship with you. Some of them could have been hiding the truth that they always wanted to be in a relationship with you, or maybe at one time you had been in a relationship with some people, but it didn't work out because you both had lessons learned in life and they weren't a shadowy person. And some of those people could communicate with you that they do want to be in a relationship with you. And if it's not someone who has fond memories of you in the past, even though it didn't work out, you're going to keep moving forward and you're going to be investing your time, energy, and effort into the people you meet in the world who seem very insightful and loving and bold and brave and creative and inspired by love to be free. Not caught up in their fear and their insecurity and their pride and their ego and their lust and their greed and their more immature nature. And if there was someone some of you would have liked to have reunited with, if you could have communicated to someone, if that person isn't communicating with you that they want a new beginning, then you see the truth. Either they went and manifested with someone else, or they're caught up in something that they're going to learn some lessons from. And if you were meant to be in a relationship with them, it would have worked out. So it's like, okay, the divine must have a different plan for my life. Maybe I did learn the lessons I was meant to learn from having known them in my life, either having been in a relationship with them in the past or not. And I'm going to keep looking to the future because the people I need to be in a relationship with are people who've done all this work within themselves, whether they're someone from my past or someone I meet in my future. I need to be with people who've wrapped their brain around this game of life, who aren't still turning their back on the truth and listening to their intuition. Not listening to their intuition. I get hurt doing that. Who are bold and brave enough to still, not have given up on their dreams and believe in love. So what's coming up for the high vibe Capricorn energies of the world? Okay. 10 of Pentacles. You, the Empress energy, talks about your emotional state. You are doing this work within yourself to put in this work and effort to maintain balance in your life between your more loving, intuitive, creative nature emotionally and your stable, grounded, nurturing, paying attention to the details of your life in a way. And you are going to manifest very nurturing and loving friendships, workplaces, and partners in your life. And that's what you're focused on, is manifesting. I view the King of Pentacles as Capricorn energy, and in high vibe, it is about being free from the ego and the fear and the insecurity and having healed from past pain and heartbreak. You're manifesting someone who's done that same work within them. And those are the people in the Six of Cups that you're going to exchange your time, your energy, your effort into. Not the people in your life who aren't giving birth to being that within themselves. They're not growing and maturing. They're not getting balance between their more emotionally loving nature and their worldly nature. Because to have true victory in our life, we have this dualistic nature. We have our shadow nature. We have our worldly wants and needs. Are we going to temper our worldly nature with our more loving, intuitive nature to not act like a beast in the world where it's all about me and I'm going to not temper my ego and my fear. It's all about my wants and my needs in the world. You know, you want to be in relationships with people who are more balanced within themselves. Because those are the people you can have an abundant, stable, emotionally mature, loving, nurturing relationship with. Some of you, it might be saying that you are, if you're not working with those people right now, because the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles, for some of you, you are working with them already, but it starts with you aligning with your own loving, hopeful, believing nature and not tipping into your taking action out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego. And as you keep doing that, you have no choice but to manifest what you align with within yourself. But for some of you, it could be someone you will meet as you move forward. It could be someone that you know. It could be someone, if you're out in the workforce, it could be somebody you work with. What's coming up for the people who harness a little more shadowy or worldly focused Capricorn energy? They're hiding that, well, I think they hide the fact that they turn their back in their Virgo energy. Up here, this is Virgo energy. They're more motivated by the world. If a person doesn't harness high vibe Virgo energy, their long-term goal is to become a King of Pentacles, to have the money and the status or indulge. But they hide that they're kind of maybe two cards of shadowy of Aries energy, that they could turn their back on taking bold, brave, creative action in their life and being a good leader in the world and being a good leader in workplaces and family dynamics. They hide that they want to come together, and they might want to come together with people in a relationship so they look like powerful. So again, they could have left their authentic nature behind. I'm not willing to live my authentic life and let my authentic self out in the world to play and love myself and believe in myself. I've decided basically to be manipulated by the world and my more immature, indulgent nature and my ego. And so my foundation is being emotionally manipulated by my more immature nature. I want what I want. And they maybe don't believe they can manifest those things into reality. It maybe would require them to grow up and mature themselves, and they don't want to do that. So they want all the things of the world. They just don't want to have to grow and mature themselves. And they want to be in relationships with people where they can maybe be bossy and controlling. Maybe get in relationships with people who have money and status and image or power, and they're willing to indulge those people sexually. It's kind of like, you know, I'm going to be in a relationship, I'm going to have sex with someone. I'll have sex with you. How much money do you have? How much power do you have? Male or female? And they're willing to do it in order to have that status and image and to look like they're the boss in the world. Because that's what drives and motivates them. Shadowy Capricorn energy can be about what we view as being like a long-term legacy. And some people, it's all about, I don't know, the ego and the image. And will there be a plaque on my wall? And will people talk about what I owned and how much money I had and what I was able to hand down to my children? Even though I might be in a relationship with people I don't love, even though I could have let go of people I loved. You know, their perception is just so skewed. Tell us, when people operate in shadowy energy, what are they not? Well, another thing they might not see coming, when we're controlled by our shadow nature, that is kind of like, I don't know, not our loving, intuitive nature, right? Our shadow nature is represented by the devil. And when we align with our shadow nature and we have growing up and maturing to do, we're going to learn some hard lessons. I think what they don't see coming is there is someone who wants to be in a relationship with them, but that person might want to work together with them and might be using their charm and their looks and their money or their sexuality to get in a long-term relationship with them. But it is because of those things of the world. And they might get in a relationship with someone because they're aligning with their shadow nature represented by the devil, which isn't nice. You know, the devil gets a hold of you. When you haven't learned to love and believe in yourself, you go through a little bit of hell in order to make you realize that wasn't the right direction. I got to learn to love myself. I got to grow up. I got to have better discipline. I'm driving my life off into the ditch. We have free will, but if you're acting immature and beastly and selfish and greedy and prideful, you know, it's probably not going to work out the way you think. I think they might get in a relationship with someone who's going to be very bossy and controlling of them. It's going to kind of mirror what they've been aligned with within themselves. And they could end up feeling very manipulated. And it's going to make them regret that they weren't willing to be more authentic or bold or brave or loving or warm to themselves in the past. And if those people, though, want those things of the world bad enough to maintain this illusion about who they are without having to reveal the truth, you know, because pride comes before the fall. People run their life off into the ditch, and we all thought we were right, making good decisions in our life, and then we ended up in a little bit of hell, and we had to humble ourselves and admit, oh yeah, I really got caught up in that stuff. That was not a good idea. You know, some people are too prideful to admit they made a mistake. So some of them are going to stay in a relationship hiding that they could feel very manipulated and controlled. But if they're not willing to humble themselves and admit that they made a mistake and they had some lessons to learn because they thought they were the boss and they thought they knew it all and they thought for sure that this was a good idea to not do love, yeah, I think the divine is going to try to get them to go within to see how they got themselves in this situation. You know, how did this happen? Just like any of you had to do when you kind of got in a relationship where you had some growing up and maturing to do, or to love yourself. It's like, how in the hell did this happen? And it's all to get us to start making better decisions in our life, to learn lessons from past life experience, that if I keep doing this and I don't take some bold, brave, creative action to make better decisions in my life, I'm going to be in controlling environments. We are the only one who hold the key to set us free from what imprisons and enslaves us. We have to make the free will choice to choose to love ourselves, so we will not keep staying in unloving environments, basically. So there you go, Capricorn. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.